Inoue versus Donaire Dose 2. Finally upon us. This is a fight that I've been calling for on this channel for a while now, almost 2 years. Let's rewind back to 2019. 2019, Donaire was written off. This was supposed to be the twilight of his career, and Inoue is going to send him off into retirement. Inoue was a heavy favorite. He's going to dispatch of Donaire. Inoue's career trajectory is going up. He's a guy entering pound for pound lists, and Donaire's a guy on his way out. This was supposed to be a name on Inoue's resume. What happened instead? We had a fight of the year type of fight between Inoue and Donaire. We had Donaire breaking Inoue's orbital bone. We had Inoue digging deep and winning the fight, but he had to dig deep in order to win the fight. So it left us calling for a rematch later, but at the same time, it still had a lot of people saying that Donaire would never be the same after that fight. Still writing Donaire off. And what happens? Donaire comes back a year and a half later, defeats Ubali in a legitimate championship fight, wins a legitimate belt in the process, knocks him out in the 4th round, I believe, and leverages himself back into a unification fight rematch with Inoue. Wins a fight after that as well. And here we are. Unification fight. Inoue and Donaire consolidating 3 belts in the weight class. And this is going to be the toughest leg of Undisputed at 118. Whoever wins that fight, if given the opportunity, will be undisputed at 118. This is a battle for the best fighter at 118. I just can't get over the fact of what Inoue is doing right now in his career. Donaire is doing at this point in his career. Donaire is a guy who is pushing 40. He's about to turn 40. And I need people to process how special this is and what he's doing. Not only did he have a Hall of Fame career already cemented Hall of Fame before this last run, he's giving us another Hall of Fame type run late in his career. And the reason I say that is guys his age are not supposed to be competing the way they're competing in the lower weight classes. Lower weight classes are where older fighters go to die. I don't mean that literally, figuratively. That's where their careers go to die. And older fighters are not supposed to be competing with younger, high output fighters in the lower weight classes. Lower weight classes are not built for older fighters. And it's what's special about what Chocolatito is doing as well. Chocolatito is a guy who's been through war after war after war after war, entering his mid-30s. He's not supposed to still be competing the way he's competing, beating top 5, top 10 guys, and then he's going to fight Gallo Estrada again in a 3rd fight. He's not supposed to be doing these things after he's been in all those wars, lost to Soren Vise as bad as you can possibly lose, and then come back and add to his career after. And it's the same thing at Donaire. He's not supposed to be winning legitimate titles in the lower weight classes while he's pushing 40. That's what's special about what Donaire is doing right now. And people aren't giving him enough credit for that. It's special. It's a special run. And he did it by becoming a more complete fighter. Before, he was a one-handed fighter. He learned from that. He learned from the Rigo loss. He became, as his career went on, a multi-dimensional fighter, an overall better boxer, a more technical fighter, a guy who can fight with both hands now, can knock you out with both hands now. It's impressive. I compare it to what Michael Jordan did in his career, where he wasn't just blowing by guys anymore, so he developed a fadeaway jumper. He developed a better outside shot. He developed a post game. He just became an overall better player as his career went on. An overall more well-rounded player. And the same thing with Donaire, you could say. He's become a more well-rounded boxer, more versatile boxer as his career has gone on. It's impressive. And he's leveraged himself into an important fight this late in his career, pushing 40 in the lower weight classes where that's not supposed to be possible. This isn't upper weight class fighters, Bernard Hopkins, and I'm not taking anything away from guys who have done this into their 40s, but lower weight class is a different ball game. You got high output. These guys are averaging a lot of punches per round. and he's right there with him pushing 40. Unreal. It's unreal. So as far as this fight goes, I have the utmost respect for the monster, Naoya Inoue. I've been pushing him on this channel for years now, about a half decade. I was on the initial wave when it came to Inoue. Pay attention to this little dude from Japan. The thing that's important about Inoue, the thing that is special about Inoue, is he can give you what you get from lower weight class fighters, but he can also give you what you get from upper weight class fighters, all compacted into this little body. He can give you the high output of the lower weight class fighters. He can give you the technical ability, the lateral movement of a smaller guy, the athleticism of a smaller guy. But at the same time, he can give you the punching power and the one-punch knockout punching power of the upper weight class guys. And when I hear people say they don't want to watch lower weight class fights and fighters because they just don't want to watch horse jockeys, or they don't want to watch guys who don't have the one punch knockout power, I tell them, well, at least pay attention to this guy, Inoue, because he can give you that. He can knock you out. He can wear you down with attrition. He can knock you out that way. He can stop you. He can go to the body. He can go upstairs and he can stop you with multiple punches. Combination. He's a great combination puncher. On top of that, this guy just has everything. But he can also knock you out with one punch, and that's what makes him dangerous. And that's what makes what Donaire did against him in 2019 special, is Donaire was there. He was right there with him throughout the fight. He took that punishment and dished it back. Donaire can punch with two hands now too. So we've got ourselves an interesting fight setting up. But I tend to agree with the Vegas odds when they make Inoue the clear favorite. And let me say why. I just think at a certain point, a guy becomes his age. Like the age is going to show overnight. It showed with Pacquiao against Ugas, right? Where Pacquiao was the clear betting favorite, but then he just became old overnight. Pacquiao beats an Ugas 2, 3, 4 years ago. Much less 10 years ago. But at this point in his career, 42, 43 years old, the age caught up with him. Mother Nature caught up with him. Father Time caught up with him. And the same thing I expect here with Donaire is when you get in there with a special fighter as a Naoya Inoue, I think the age is going to catch up to Donaire here. I think there's going to come that point in the middle rounds in this fight where Inoue catches Donaire with something big, and then Donaire's legs, his body, start to give in this fight. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see another great fight like we did in 2019. Both fighters going the distance and the back and forth. But I just think that in the middle rounds in this fight, Inoue is going to start to separate himself from Donaire. And I think it's the age. Because Donaire is a special fighter in his own right. Special. And it's special what he's doing. But Inoue is a different beast. I think Inoue, it's fresh on his mind what happened in 2019. He feels like he wants to right that and separate himself from Donaire. And on top of that, I think that's why Vegas, this is one of the reasons Vegas has him as a clear favorite. On top of that, I just think that Inoue is a little frustrated maybe what's happened with this career with COVID sidelining his career in 2020 for the most part. And then 2021, he fought twice, but wasn't against competition that the boxing world maybe wanted to see him in against. Although that competition is a little undervalued by the boxing public, I believe. But I think he wants to put on a star performance in this fight. And on top of that, I think Inoue sees the vacuum that's on the top of the pound-for-pound list now that Canelo has lost. I've said since Canelo lost, there's a vacuum there that none of these fighters have filled yet. But they'll all get their chance. Inoue's first in line. If Inoue puts on a great performance against Donaire and knocks him out, he'll lay his claim for a possible #1 pound-for-pound then. Crawford's going to have his chance. Spencer's going to have his chance later this year. Hopefully they fight each other. Usyk is going to have his chance against Joshua again. So these guys are going to have opportunities. Inoue is first in line. If Inoue puts on a great performance against Donaire and stops him or knocks him out, At that point, you have to start to consider Inoue #1 pound for pound. Owning 3 belts at 118, a win against Donaire, on top of everything else we're seeing with the eye test. This is a big fight for Inoue. It's a big fight for both guys. A lot of implications here. Not only the 3 belts, Donaire wants to solidify, put an exclamation point on his career, and then compound that by being undisputed at 118. He has been vocal about wanting to become undisputed at 118 before he retires. So a lot on the line, but also a lot on the line on Inoue, in that he's sort of on a career plateau right now. But this fight right here puts him right back where he was headed, that same trajectory up. So on that note, I got Inoue in this fight. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this fight. God bless. Peace.